straight. Welcome back to the Arsenal podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Arteta's injury crisis. Partey is down. Gabriel Martinelli is coming back. Pablo Mari is back. Callum Chambers is back. Is that enough for Mikel Arteta to get the consistent run he is asking for? Because in the next 3-4 games, if he doesn't win them consistently, maybe that is when Arsenal fans are really going to be angry about him and force the Arteta out agenda. Welcome back to the Arsenal podcast. Let us discuss all we can about the injury crisis at Arsenal. I'm going to be taking you through who is injured, especially Thomas Partey, and what Partey's injury means to the club. Now, of course, it was against Aston Villa when we were being spanked, bantered, talk about any word you want. The Thomas Partey slipped and he got a thigh injury. Mikel Arteta, in his post-match conference, he said the doctors had to first examine him and then determine what they were going to do with the situation. However, it's pretty clear that the injury is serious and the player is not going to be traveling to Ghana for the international break or the international friendlies, or call them whatever you want, that he had, that Ghana is supposed to play. That means he's going to be staying in London to get his treatment. However, Mikel Arteta thinks that Partey could be fit before the Leeds game, because that's the next game on our calendar. Very difficult fixture. One of the hardest teams to beat this season is Arsenal and Leeds. I think for Arsenal, statistically, it's not true because we have lost 4 games already out of 8. So it's not easy for us to say that we are hard to beat. But those teams that have really played us and have tested the wrath know how hard Arsenal is to beat. But Leeds have very good football. Marcelo Bielsa has introduced very good football in the boys. They are very, very good. Passing around, running around, the pace, the quality the team has. I think it's going to be a very big test for Mikel Arteta, especially away from home. He doesn't do so well at home anyway. But against a team like Leeds on the road, it's going to be a big test. So for me, what Partey means, Partey's injury, we said this in the summer, that buying Thomas Partey late in the transfer market was not a good decision. It wasn't the right decision to do at Arsenal. Buying Thomas Partey was the right decision, yes, but what if he got injured? We asked those questions before. What if he got injured? What if he was suspended? Then who replaces him? Now that takes us back to square one. It takes us back to 0. We are now going to play Granit Xhaka, Mohamed Elneny, and play Dani Ceballos. The same old midfield we had last season is the same old midfield we are going to play when Thomas Partey gets injured. You saw that against the Aston Villa game. He comes off, Dani Ceballos comes in, and there is absolutely no impact. It's a big change. You can see we have lost a big player and we have introduced someone with minimum quality. If he gets injured, that's a big crisis. But when is he coming back? That's the biggest question, because thigh injuries are not that easy. They can't tend to be they can't tend to heal quickly. But if a player comes back before he gets healed completely, then there are going to be subsequent injuries resulting from the same injury. So I don't think Mikel Arteta needs to rush him, but we need him as soon as possible. He is the key player we have in that squad. He's the only player for me this season, and Gabriel Magalhaes, that are showing that Arsenal is maybe a big team, and this is where it is supposed to be. They're the only two They're the only 2 players in that squad that believe in the goals and destiny of Arsenal. The rest of the players are playing an average style and an average kind of football, playing as if they are playing for Leeds, playing as if they are playing for any other small club, mid-table team, and I wouldn't blame them, because some of the players have been here for the past 2-3 seasons, and they have seen Arsenal officially become a mid-table team. But for Thomas Partey's injury, like I said, the Leeds game is the first returning date he could have. But however, if he fails, then we have to wait for him to come back and maybe against Tottenham or so on. but it's completely going to expose our midfield. It's completely going to tire us apart. Granit Xhaka, Mohamed Elneny, Dani Ceballos, we just look at them. No one is fit to replace Thomas Partey. No one is actually fit to replace Thomas Partey. So for me, that it's a humble prayer that Thomas Partey's injury doesn't exceed the international break. And for me, it's good news that he's staying with the club and is not traveling with Ghana, because that could have made the injury even worse. So he's going to get treatment at the Arsenal premises. He's going to be staying with us, but it's a kind of injury that you think could turn Arsenal's season around. I know we haven't won so many games with Partey in. He hasn't made so many assists, but he has done the tackles. And I think, for me, he has done what he had to do. He has added that missing piece of football that Arsenal was lacking. How do you regain the ball back? How do you possess the ball? How do you keep the ball in your possession for some time? I think he has done that. He has increased the confidence on the ball of players around him. I've seen Momo Elneny play like he was a Zinedine Zidane, having that ball, pushing it forward, passing it around, getting it back, calling for the ball. I think Thomas Partey in the midfield, for me, he has completely changed our mindset, the way we are playing, and the confidence of players on the ball and even off the ball, because whenever we used to lose the ball, it could take us minutes to gain it back. But that's not the incidence. I've seen it against Leicester City, against Manchester United. Whenever we lose the ball, Partey is there, and other players are there to join him, to regain it back, and we have always got it back against Aston Villa. Even against Villa at halftime, it was the same thing. We had hope. He was there, but in the second half, when he was off the pitch, everything was flat. Dani Ceballos couldn't do anything. Mohamed Elneny was simply, it's like air was pulled out of Mohamed Elneny. So Partey needs to get back. The sick bay is no place for him at Arsenal. At least we know that we are really desperate for his services. If anyone doesn't know that Arsenal is desperate for the service of Thomas Partey, then you must be mistaken. We are desperately in need of the services of Thomas Partey. But anyway, looking at other injury updates around Arsenal, Pablo Mari is back. I think it's a big boost for Gabriel Magalhaes and Mikel Arteta. He will need to rotate squads, but also, if Partey gets injured and Gabriel Magalhaes gets injured, the whole squad, the whole season is over. I hope Pablo Mari can give us the quality that Gabriel Magalhaes gives us. He's not one of the players you think is going to get injured tomorrow, but the work rate and how involved he is in the game, you just can't rule out the fact that he might actually get injured. And of course, you know what that means. He gets injured, everything is a mess. So Pablo Mari is back. He's a left-footed centre-back, so that means he cannot play with Gabriel Magalhaes. One of them has to start, and I think Gabriel Magalhaes has already proven to the manager that he's the right player to start for Arsenal. Pablo Mari will have to wait up on the bench. Gabriel Martinelli is back in training, little training, but he might be fully fit at the end of the calendar year, so that means we are waiting for his return fully in the January, when we go in the January transfer window. And of course, we have a chance to register more players in the Europa League and even in the Premier League. There's so many fans, I should say all the fans of Arsenal are eagerly waiting for the return of Gabriel Martinelli. He was on fire when he went out on injury. He had beaten Chelsea single-handedly. That counter-attack, that goal. He was player of the month for Arsenal. I think it was in January. So he's a player that I think was getting on well, and everything he did then was towards signs of success. He gets injured, a long-term injury. It's unfortunate for him because at that rate, at that pace, if he had not got injured, right now we have a very easy group in the Europa League that should have served something, something like maybe a ground to nurture him, a ground for him to express his, talents and so on. Because for me, I think he's a talented player. He's a talented guy, and of course, we are waiting to see what Mikel Arteta is going to use him for. Because Arteta is really stubborn. Is he going to use him as a central striker? Is he going to use him down on the left and put Aubameyang as the striker? Is he going to use him anyway? Because he might use him, like he might leave him out of the squad like he did with William Saliba. So there are so many questions, but he's coming back by the end of this year. Callum Chambers is back, by the way. I don't know why it's big news, but the fact that our defense is a little bit shaky, and we need the quality and we need the numbers. What if anyone gets injured? David Louis, Rob Holding. I think Rob has played better than Callum Chambers. Has convinced me that he's a better defender than Callum Chambers over the years at Arsenal. But if you ask me, who do I take on? Who do I pick on both of them? I wouldn't take anyone. I think both of them are still quirky defenders, but I think Rob is better than Callum Chambers. Obviously, maybe if he wants to use Callum Chambers in the right back, which I think is not the right decision. Ainsley Martin now, Cedric, those should be for me. They should be the options he uses in the right back. So Reece Nelson is also injured, but he's coming back as soon as the international breaks. Then he'll be fit and back to playing ways for Arsenal. Who else should I talk about now on the injury list? Maybe Emile Smith-Rowe, but that one it seems Mikel Arteta is not interested in his services. So that is the injury update. Partey is the biggest man injured, and probably we pray he can come back as soon as possible.